So the first question is like how it all started, like how you joined TRD and how it all started.
Okay. Well, before the red dot,
Yeah.
there was
Mm-hmm.
there was I'd say about 5 years or so before where it was kind of a different scenario with our spiritual group here, Divine
Uh,
Shakti Mandir,
yeah.
and that that whole thing started. It You could kind of look at it like when I met Maiji. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was here very interested in spirituality. I was in the on the East Coast. I was taking all different classes. I was very interested in Indian spirituality as well as Native American, and just kind of getting inspiration from wherever I could.
Yeah.
And anyways, I
So
was
before meeting Maiji, you were in the spirituality?
yes, I was.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
very heavily into it,
Okay.
um, and then in some of the spiritual communities I was in, I happened to meet someone who was
Mm-hmm.
traveling across the country,
Mm-hmm.
and on their travels they met
Mm-hmm.
Maiji and stopped there at Divine Shakti Mandir,
Okay.
and they had a very powerful experience with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came back. Her name was Stephanie. She came back to the East Coast and then conveyed this message to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
she said she had a dream actually where there were certain people she was supposed to tell about her experience, and I was one of the people that came up in her dream.
Mm-hmm.
And so she told me about this, and then I just was I felt very honored, and I was hoping that at some point I'd be able to meet my G.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, eventually she came to the East Coast, and I was invited to a dinner,
Yeah.
and I got to meet her, and I had a very again powerful experience.
So what was the year you met Maiji?
That was 2011.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
it's been 11 years. Okay.
it was at the end of 2011. It's about to be. I met her on November 17th.
Okay.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're approaching 11 years now.
Okay.
Um,
I met Maiji on November 1st of November 2021. So yeah.
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Um, so yeah, we're kind of like 10 years apart here, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool. Um, so yeah, I felt during this conversation, I felt this real like embracing sense of love kind of
Mm-hmm.
around while
Yeah.
having this conversation. Also, I felt like she was completely listening to me better than I've ever been listening to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of my whole being was being listened to, not just surface content for the
Okay.
mind. So, so that was really, really great. And I, at the same time, felt this. I felt like a Kundalini experience actually,
Mm-hmm.
rising from my solar plexus up to my heart, and I just felt this real big sense of uh, just like all encompassing energy during that conversation. It was very very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I had to go, and she took me outside and spoke to me privately, and I kind of felt like, all right, this is someone I'm meant to be connected with,
Yeah.
probably long term, and it just kind of developed from there, and then from that, I went to go visit California, She
Mm-hmm.
found out that I was an artist, and then she had she explained that she had this vision of me changing my art studio into a spiritual center or combining the two, and so that's what happened. We opened the first spiritual center over in New York, called Divine Shakti Center,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it was many years of beautiful interactions and meditations and readings and discussions, and it was quite beneficial for a lot of us. And
Yeah.
it was an introduction to the Shakti and the Force and real spirituality for many, I think, that went there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that developed, and then along at the same time, other members of the group started to come in, and with that, everyone brings their own certain talent and gift, and certain
Mm-hmm.
thing they're involved with already. So a lot of like organizations, small organizations or companies, little businesses started to form that had to do with the particular um, devotee, you could say's
Mm-hmm.
alignment. So so for me it was art and music, right? So we opened Divine Shakti Arts, and it was a
Mm-hmm.
way to utilize the natural expression through me to be put towards a divine purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so and it was also open to whatever other artist or musician wanted to come in and express themselves for the divine cause. And then so there was also Ariego, a guy named Jerry Lowney joined, and he was
Mm-hmm.
very involved in construction and woodworking in New York City. And so
Yeah.
this
Mm-hmm.
got created to serve a higher purpose and still manifest beautiful things in the construction field and woodworking field. So that's also happening right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then eventually we got to the red dot, and I think
Yeah.
the red dot was something that it seemed as if it was something that she felt deeply for a long time. That she's always been connected to food.
Yeah.
She talks
Yeah.
about when she was 5 years old at the Gurdwara.
She used to serve. Yeah.
She would
She
be
used to feed people. Yeah.
feed people all day, and
Yeah.
she'd love it. She it
Yeah.
was feeding was her joy, and so
Mm-hmm.
this was something that was very uh, closely linked with her particular expression.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of time, I think, before this bloomed. And around the same time, our chef, our head chef now, he joined the group,
Mm-hmm.
um, Harmon, and
Yeah.
he had, he just has a very intimate and special relationship with food creation and recipes, and there's a brilliance that comes through him, and uh, yeah, and he's very creative, and so it really worked well. And when they paired up Maiji and Harmon, this red dot really, this idea just took off and took shape and took form. And yeah, happened in California first,
Yeah.
and that's where many of the original recipes were formed there.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I was less involved in the red dot specifically. I was more still in New York running the Spiritual Center and Divine
Mm-hmm.
Shakti Arts. And it was only a couple years later when we opened the red dot in New York, and that's when I became like fully involved. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just kind of starting out with restaurant stuff like anyone else would. You're just washing tons of dishes, and you're getting used to how things work, and then little by little you start to learn things, and with your aspiration and your effort, um, your drive to kind of just keep on serving and
Mm-hmm.
keep on moving strong and consistent with your sadhana.
Mm-hmm.
You just start to take on more responsibilities, and your love starts to flow into more avenues of the restaurant. And so now I'm mostly cooking food and working on that end of things. And it's been a beautiful experience, moving through the responsibilities of the restaurant and getting to learn everything about it, and also knowing that it's for a higher purpose and feeling that higher purpose, and then also getting the reciprocation from the customers when they eat the food and they say things like, "I can taste the love in the food."
Mm-hmm.
It's a special thing because they're experiencing something more than just the senses. They're experiencing some delight from the soul that has come, that it's originates from the source of why this restaurant was created. It's to manifest divine. It's to serve that divine mother on earth, and allow her to really bloom and take shape, and create a whole new world here eventually, I believe. Um, so yeah,
So,
that's it. Go
so
ahead.
what? So what was the year when like TRD New York was created?
It was the end of 2017.
Okay, so you started working after that, 2017. You joined, like you get into TRD.
Right. Actually, when it very first started, I was in California, and
Uh-huh.
I was actually working, doing a couple different things in California. One of them being the restaurant. But
Okay. Mm.
when I came back to New York, it was, I think, a little. It was at the beginning of the spring of 2018, and that's when I became more of a full time Red Dot member.
Mhm.
Before that, though, I
So
was
what you
doing miscellaneous things.
uh so what you do in TRD? Like what is your day, your regular day in TRD?
Well, it's for someone like me. I I get up quite early, and then I get to the Red Dot um, around 6 or a little after 6, and I
Mm-hmm.
make sure all the prep is there. Any prep work that needs to be done gets done very early in the morning, so that way we're not caught off guard during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of continue with that prepping, and if there's a special, you're doing a special until the order comes in. And with New York, sometimes when the orders come in, they just don't stop, and so
Mm-hmm.
they'll start, and then it'll continue on. You'll get maybe a small break, but they'll continue through the whole day. So you want to make sure you're in good shape before that
Mm-hmm.
happens. And so yeah, it's just kind of a relentless uh, seva of prep and service, and then to find things when there's breaks to do extra things. That's pretty much my day at this point. Is chopping veggies and cooking them and getting them out to the customer. Trying to get them out to the customer as perfect as possible and as quickly as possible. Keep
Mm-hmm.
everyone nice and feeling uplifted, and feeling the sattva of the dish, and then the way the dish comes out in a timely manner.
So what do you enjoy the most?
Um, you know, I'm starting to enjoy kind of everything a little bit equally. I really like serving the prasad
Mm-hmm.
for our, the people that are giving seva, making the prasad and serving it. It's a very good feeling. But, I actually enjoy the deadlines of
Uh-huh.
of the of the dishes. There's the pickup orders at a certain time, so you have to make sure everything's done and
Yeah.
get it out by that time. And there's a certain kind of joy in arranging the sequence of how things should be cooked and when, and it becomes
Uh-huh.
like a fun game. So
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
that's kind of what I like doing. Um,
Yeah.
and to be honest, cooking and restaurant work wasn't my natural thing to do in life. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't where I found my joy naturally. Um, it was mostly typically been around the arts,
Uh-huh.
music and art. But uh, as time goes on, I'm finding more and more that my love is actually pouring into cooking more. And sometimes it just takes some time to get familiar with something and feel a little bit perhaps confident and capable to really start to love it as well. So so yeah, that's kind of what it is. I kind of like everything. I like the deadlines, but yeah, that's what I
Mm-hmm.
would say.
Okay. So what is the difference between your experience before joining TRD and after joining TRD?
Well, I think TRD, what it does, it works on. So we're doing sadhana, right? Where it's not
Yeah.
just a job;
Mm-hmm.
it's actually a sadhana. So
Yeah.
what we're taking it as an opportunity that our system gets worked on and developed and transformed in a sense. So the restaurant's a very beautiful thing, the red dot, because it works on your system as a whole. We find so
Mm-hmm.
your physical, it's your physical isn't left, astray, and you're just contemplating, which is a beautiful thing, or meditating, which is also great. But it's nice that the body's actively involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
I find because it brings a certain consciousness into the body. Um, when I started working the red dot, I found that I was way more conscious of moving objects through space. So like moving things around, you just start to you have a very conscious experience of your spatial experience because you have to move pans around all day. You're moving objects. You're grabbing bins from refrigerators and you want to do this kind of quickly. You don't want to just be sluggish moving things around because people are depending on you. They have places to be after they eat. So so yeah, the physical gets really worked on. Also the mental definitely transforms. Um, it's like especially if you're cooking or in the front as well, you have to sequence things appropriately. So you're constantly prioritizing what's most important, what's least important, what's most urgent, what is least urgent, and so you
Mm-hmm.
kind of always have to sequence your actions, and it creates a very good training for the mind and helps you to operate. I think perhaps it'll help you be prepared to serve the divine in general if your mind is capable and has been prepped to kind of carry out actions in a certain way. So that's what I enjoy about the mental. That's the mental. There's also the vital, right, or the emotional, and that's the whole dealing with. I would say it's dealing with your employees. You're stuck with the same people all day in close quarters, and sometimes there's a lot of pressure involved. So you have to learn how to, um, you know, speak the truth with love. You have to learn how
Mm,
to be, satwic in all circumstances,
mm,
and keep a very high vibration. Because also that vibration we know is going to enter into the food, whatever you're feeling, and
yeah.
then it kind of it will uh, it will distort the purity that is meant to come through and serve the customer with this higher force. If our emotions are all muddied up in it, and we have these unclear intentions and things like that, it will affect things. So we have this kind of responsibility to keep our vital pure and clean, and yeah, transparent, and
Mm,
just keep our
mm,
vibration high. So that's the whole emotional aspect of it as well.
yeah.
And I find this has helped me with all those things. Since the red
Mm,
dot, I feel much more refined,
mm,
and much more capable to just carry out actions in general. Whereas before, it
mm,
was a little, I didn't have such training to, like, that consistent training to manifest something or carry out actions in a sequential, timely manner. But with the red dot, it's a constant, relentless, almost training of deadlines and things that it really refines your capability to do those things. So,
mm,
yeah, that's what I would say. The red dot has helped me. Also, it's taught me how to cook. And before this, I didn't
uh,
really know how to cook at all. So
yeah,
that's kind of the obvious thing.
yeah,
Um, it's I was just kind of like a cooked like a college student, you could say. Like, just like,
yeah,
let me
yeah,
just make me
yeah.
the quickest, like a good
Impossible, yeah,
tasting, quick thing as possible, and just be done with it. And like,
yeah,
if it could be 5 minutes, great, or
yeah.
less.
That's what
But
I do.
yeah, yeah, and I can relate. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, this has kind of like showed me, like, it showed me the art, really, and
yeah,
gave me. I always knew there was art in food, but it also gave me the experience of having food be kind of this art. And and it's nice to know that, like, I could kind of like go anywhere right now and show up in someone's house and then make them something nice. It's
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's kind of a cool feeling.
yeah,
It's kind of weird, like, oh, how did that happen? And
yeah.
it's almost like it happened uh, as a side note, as a
Mm,
uh, as a byproduct.
yeah.
So yeah.
So as you said, you didn't know how to cook. You didn't have any idea with cooking and all. So how you felt for the first time when you like heard that I'm gonna start working in TRD?
I felt I felt I felt fine about it because I had enough, just at least experience with just the restaurant at that point, kind of being there
Mm-hmm.
and helping out and serving and washing dishes, and um, I saw that after being shown a couple things
Yeah.
on the stove and chopping things by our chefs. I felt that it wasn't actually that hard. I don't.
Mhm.
I found that cooking actually isn't. We make it more than it is. There is things about it. There's a certain finesse and care and you know confidence, you could say, to kind of have in there. But yeah, I wasn't too nervous. Once I
Mm.
got my feet wet a little bit with making a couple things, it all kind of just started to flow. And
Mhm.
I felt, at times there were periods where, like, when say everyone, other cooks and chefs would leave and I'd be alone at the restaurant at first, yeah, there would
Uh,
be a little sense of like a little nervousness would come up, like when a
yeah,
table of six walks in and you're the only one there, and it's like, oh wow, I hope this is gonna go well. I
yeah,
hope I hope I hope people don't leave mad here.
yeah,
And then but that's what was good too. It gets you to really
yeah.
just start, get things
It
out as
gives you
soon as
more
possible.
experience.
Yeah, it gives you the
Mm,
experience for sure.
mm,
So yeah, I felt little. There were times of trepidation and slight nervousness, but the confidence comes after just getting the experience.
yeah, yeah.
All right, and
Anything else you wanna say?
no, I guess that's it. I just think it's a really it's a new model,
Yeah,
for sadhana actually. I find, and
yeah.
it really can be a positive thing for those who feel called to do it.
Hmm.
It really develops your spirituality, your intuitive, I think, faculties too start to get refined from knowing what needs to be done when, what is most important, um, and it also it keeps you busy. It's a very
Hmm.
it could be feel very painful to think about for someone who is not used to being busy, but it really keeps you involved in your sadhana.
Yeah.
It doesn't let you fall astray, doesn't let you get too uh, lost in your own thoughts, and
Hmm.
that's the benefit of the red dot. It keeps you very actively involved in your sadhana and your transformation process. So
Uh-huh.
I think it is a very legitimate path for someone who is looking to
Hmm.
experience uh, the spiritual path, as well as learn how to cook great food and serve customers. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's probably all I'd want to say there.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a new territory I find in sadhana on Earth.
Yeah.
It seems like a very new thing.
Hmm.
So we might be seeing more of this, and maybe in other categories. It may not just be the restaurant. It may spread to other categories. But I think a similar vibe and experience would be um, there as well. Same type of active participation and refinement of your different parts of your system all at once.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, nice to talk to you.
yeah, beautiful to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I,
We'll have some meeting again also.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds great. And it's nice to hear that you got the chance to meet Mai over there
Yeah.
in 2021,
Hmm.
and it's a beautiful thing, your involvement, and yeah,
Hmm.
uh, all the best for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Okay. Have a great day.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay.